Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be making a heart emoji. The only thing difference is the eyes aren't going to be this big. I made the eyes smaller. So let's get started. So I'm using a number 4 hook, 4mm, and my yarn calls for a 5.5, but I'm using a 4 anyway. And it is, let's see if I can reach, it's a Red Heart Super Saver. It is absolutely ginormous. I have my color adjusted on here, but the color is lemon. And it calls for a 5.5, but see if my camera can focus. But I'm using a number 4. I want it nice and tight. I made these guys with a 6, and you can see the stuffing through, and I just don't want to see the stuffing through. This one I made with a 4. So it's a lot different. As you can see, this looks better. So we're going to use a 4. So let's get started and get all this stuff off my... So first thing you're going to do is you're going to chain 3. So we're doing a fake magic circle. So you're going to double crochet 15 into that first chain that you made. So put all 15 double crochets into that. So because we're using the first chain, you're not going to go into the first stitch, you're going to go into the second chain of the first chain that you did, and you're going to slip stitch. Be tight. So chain 2, and for this round I just want you to put 2 double crochets into every stitch around, so for a total of 30. and slip stitch. This is the first chain that we made, so slip stitch right into that second chain. Chain 2. So we're going to start our increase sequence. So put a double crochet in the same space you were just in, and that gives us 2 stitches in that spot. Just going to angle this down a little bit. So the next space is going to be 1 double crochet, the next space is going to be 2 double crochets in the same space, the next space is going to be 1, and the next space is going to be 2. So our sequence is 2 1 2 1 2 1, and that's how we're going to do an increase. So there's 2 in that space, 1 in that space, 2 in the next space, 1 2. So do that all the way around. And my suggestion to you is to make both your pieces on the same day, just so that your tension is the same, because lots of things can mess with your tension. I hope I'm going slow enough. Let me know in the comments below. I do read my comments. So I have 1 stitch left, but instead of putting 2 in there, I'm going to put 1 because we have 2 over here, so I'm just going to put 1 in there. And slip stitch to the same place we've been slip stitching to. Chain 2 and put a double crochet into that same space. So for this sequence, increase sequence, we're going to be doing 2 1 1 2 1 1 2 1 1. So 2 double crochets in the same hole, and then the next 2 stitches, 1 each, and then 2 in the same hole again. So we got 2 in the same hole already that we're starting with. So the next one is going to be 1 double crochet, and the next stitch is going to be 1 double crochet. So that's 2 1 1, and we start again. 2 double crochets in this hole, 1 double crochet in the next, 1 double crochet in the next, all the way around. So 2 1 1 2 1 1 2 1 1. And again, we're going to end up with 2. So in that last stitch, I'm just going to put 1 and slip stitch. So let's count this so we know how many stitches we have. Okay, so I have 52. There's no right or wrong. If you don't have 52, you don't have 52. What's important is the last row that we do, that you count the stitches that you have, and the next one you do has to end with the exact same amount of stitches as your other ones. So there's no right or wrong as far as numbers. You can drop a stitch, you can add a stitch. It doesn't matter at all, as long as your 2 pieces have the exact same number of stitches. So if you're doing your final row, which we're not on yet, but if you're doing your final row and your one piece has 81 stitches, this has to have 81 stitches. So if you're coming around and you're like, oh my god, I'm only at 70, start putting extra stitches in to make it 81. If you're working ahead of me, just letting you know, because when we single crochet this together, we're going stitch for stitch, and you don't want any bunching. You don't want a spot where all of a sudden it's going to be like this, because your stitches aren't equal. So doesn't really matter how many stitches you end up with. Like I said, you can drop them, you can add them, you can screw up as many times as you want. It's just as long as your other one has the exact same amount of stitches. So moving on, so we just did 2 1 1. So we did, in this row, we did 2 1 2 1 2 1. This row we did 2 1 1 2 1 1. So in this next row we're going to do 2 1 1 1. So put a double crochet after you chain 2, put a double crochet right in the same hole next to that guy. So you're starting off with your 2 right away. So in the next 3 stitches you're going to put 1 double crochet each, and that's your double crochet, and that's your increase. I can manage to do it. So in the next 3 stitches, 1 each, and that's your increase. 2 1 1 1. So now we start again. 2 1 1 1. So we're going to do that all the way around. 2 1 1 1 2 1 1 1 2 1 1 1. Oh, but I didn't just make it more confusing. I am not coordinated today. It's a good thing I'm not going dancing. It's funny when you have the flu, you can't seem to do anything simple. Like, I even turn into a klutz when I'm sick. I fall up the stairs. I almost fall down the stairs. I mean, I am dizzy, but I mean, not to that extreme that I'm falling, but I still managed to fall up the stairs. I'm stuck on something. Where am I at here? 2 1 1 1. But I can't seem to. What am I getting stuck on? Straggler. Can't seem to do things like I would if I wasn't sick, which I'm really hoping is everybody. My husband never gets sick, so I have no idea, but I'm hoping other people are like that and I'm just not an oddball. You're not going to be able to get your full sequence into the end here, so I got 2, 1, 1, but it doesn't matter. So just go in to that second chain, do your slip stitch, chain 2, final row. This final row, doesn't matter how many you get around, just make sure you count and you know how many you get around. So when you do your second one, which I'm not going to do the second one with you in this tutorial, you're going to have to pause the video, but when you do your second one, you have to make sure you have the same number of stitches. I cannot stress that enough. So let's finish this final row. So double up there like I've been doing this whole time. So put another double crochet into that hole, and then you're going to do 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. So 4 single crochet or double crochets over 4 stitches. So we did 2, 1, 2, 1, then we did 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, then we did 2, 1, 1, 1, and now we're doing 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. So we have 2 here, so next 4 stitches are going to get 1 double crochet each. So this will be the row, the round, where a lot of people make their mistakes, including me all the time. I don't think I have yet to build 2 of these that came out with the same amount of stitches. I've had to add stitches or take away stitches every single time. So this is just, I don't know, you get mesmerized, or you get, and you think you've done 4 and you've done 3, or you didn't do 2 in the one hole. This will be the row that you do it. So that's why I say the final row of your second one that you're going to make, you may have to add stitches or take away stitches. So 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. So 2 in this stitch, and then double crochet in the next 4, and that's your increase sequence. That's your final repeat. Once you're done, you can fasten off and start your next one if you're waiting for me. But we are going to put our faces on before we sew it, before we crochet it together. It's just a lot easier to sew your faces on. So if you do make your other one, don't fasten off. Almost done. So beginners, if I am going too fast for you, which I probably am, just pause the video, because you know what you got to do. You know you got to go 2 1 1 1 1. I'm always supposed to put 2 in that hole. See, my numbers are never the same because I screw up like that. So don't worry about your numbers. Just I mean, I could sit here and say, okay, this round should have had 12, this round should have had 36, this round should have had 42, but you know, it's not about that. It's just about your last row. Your entire circle needs to have this exact same number of stitches. So this is actually the perfect beginner pattern, because you don't really need to worry about the mistakes that you might make. And I don't just mean beginners. I mean people that aren't beginners make mistakes. I do it all the time. I just know how to fix it. One more. And then I'll count my stitches. So you can fasten off with this guy. I'm going to count my stitches. You can fasten off just a normal way. You don't need a long tail or anything. So there's our first one, and you can go ahead and rewind the video, and then don't fasten off from your second one, but make sure you have the same amount of stitches that you have for this one. I know I've stressed that a number of times, and it's probably really annoying. However, it is what it is. So once you're done that, come back and see me, and we'll make some face parts. Alright, so let's make the heart eyes. These ones are smaller than the one that I showed you before. Anyway, so let's start with a slip knot. And you're going to chain 2, so we're going to build from the point up. So in this first chain that you just did, you're going to single crochet 2. And that's it. That's your start. So you're going to chain 1 and turn your wee little work. So you've got 2 holes here. So in each one of these, you're going to put 2 single crochets into each one. So you're increasing right off the hop because you kind of have to. Oops, that is not the right hole. Chain 1, turn your work. I'm just going to pull this tail. Excuse me. So, we are going to continue our increases. The first hole and the back hole, you're going to put 2 single crochets in the first and the back hole. This is just our increase. So 2 there, 1 in here, 1 in here. This is a pretty fast project. They're pretty small. And then 2 single crochets in the last stitch. Chain 1, turn your work. So this row, you're just gonna put 1 single crochet into each. So you should have 6. So 1 crochet, single crochet into each of the 6 stitches you have. Chain 1 and turn your work. So 2 single crochets in the first stitch, single crochet 4 times across, 1 in each hole, and then in the last stitch put 2 single crochet. Chain 1 and turn your work. So it's starting to look mighty fine. So this is where we're going to start making our humps. So you single crochet 4. You're going to chain 1, turn your work. You're going to single crochet another 4 across. Chain 1, turn your work. Oh, my dog has to drink water now, because he always does when I'm filming. So you have 4 holes, so you're going to do 2 together. So we're going to do decrease in both holes. Then you're going to fasten off. Find my scissors. Make your knot. Make another slip stitch. You can just pull him off for now, set him down. You're going to start over here on this side. Put him back on. So you can pull that through. And I'm still going to put a single crochet in there. Added security. Single crochet across 4. Chain 1, turn your work. Single crochet 4. Chain 1, turn your work, and single crochet 2 together. And again, single crochet these last 2 together. Chain 1, and now you're going to single crochet all around the outside of the heart. Wherever you can get your needle in there, just put a single crochet all around the outside. Gives it a nice clean edge. Tuck in your ends wherever you can tuck in your ends. So right in the tip, when I get down to the point, I'm going to put a couple. I'm going to hold my yarn down. I'm just going to put a couple of ones in that same hole just to make it look better. So when you get back to where you started, you can just put a slip stitch in right there, and then just pulls it all together. Fasten off. And there's your heart. You can snip off. I weaved him along, so I'm just going to snip him off. All my other guys, you can either leave them in there for sewing. I mean, don't need all of these for sewing. And I'll just keep that guy on for tying a knot at the back of the stuff. So yeah, so there's your heart. You can go ahead and make another heart, so you've got two, and then we'll move on to the eye. So you can pause the video and I'll meet you back here to make some to make the mouth, to make the mouth. Alright guys, welcome back. So now we're just going to make the mouth. This one has absolutely no teeth in it, so it's going to be pretty easy peasy, pretty straightforward, pretty quick little project. I just want to start with a slip knot. And you're going to chain 15. So you're just gonna single crochet all the way back up for 14, starting in the second one from the hook, because that's the only one you can get into. Chain one and turn your work. So you're going to instantly start your decrease. So you're going to single crochet 2 together. And you're going to single crochet until you have all the way back up until you have 2 stitches left. And you're going to single crochet those together. Okay, So I'm back up. I got 2 stitches left, so I'm going to crochet these 2 together. Chain 1, turn your work, and do the same thing. Single crochet the first 2 together, then single crochet, all the way across till you get to the last 2 stitches, and then single crochet those together. Chain 1, turn your work, single crochet first 2 together, and then single crochet across, till you have 2 stitches left, and then single crochet those together. Chain 1, turn your work. We're going to do this until there's only 4 stitches left, and then we're going to fasten off. Alright, so we have 4 stitches left. Chain 1 and do the same thing as you did with the heart. You're just going to single crochet all around the outside perimeter of your mouth, wherever you can get your hook into, generally at the end of every row. You should be able to get your hook in. If you wanted it rounded off, you can put 2 on the corners if you want to round off your mouth a little bit. It makes no difference to me really whether it's rounded off. It's supposed to be smiling, so. So you're going to do the same thing when you come back around that you did with the heart. You're just going to do a simple slip stitch into the first stitch that you made. And don't worry about it curling up like this, because you can just straighten it out when you're sewing it on. So I'm just going to slip stitch into that chain there. Fasten off. All your work tight. And there you have it. So we build the mouth upside down, then we turn it around and we put it on. So I'm going to tuck these in because I didn't even make them long enough to sew with. So well, I'll tuck the one in. The other one I'll just use for the knot part, and then I'll just get a fresh piece. So we will be doing that next, so stay tuned. Alrighty, Rooney. I have no idea why I just said that, but let's get some yarn. We'll sew the mouth on first. So let's first take care of this business. Let's tie a knot in this so it's just super secured and it won't be coming undone. Again, it's going to be sewn together, but you know me. Okay, so I'm going to secure the mouth with my little, so I'm just going to put it in the same place I put my other one on my other guy, on my laughy face. If you haven't seen that video, go find it. It should be in my playlist. It was pretty fun, my laughy face. So I'm just going to do it in the same spot. So I'm just going to stick this down there to secure that. That's what I'm going to tie the knot to. I'm all about security. Security, security. And then I'm going to take this guy. Oh crap, I almost dropped it. So I'm going to come up right beside where I just put that one down, only because I'm going to come all the way around. So again, I'm just going to pull until there's still some left because I want to do my knot. So let's just make sure that's in a decent spot before I start. So I can do big stitches, you don't need to do tiny wee little, I'm making a hem for a pair of pants kind of a stitch, because this will be tied in a knot. Just make sure you come up between those stitches just so it doesn't roll, because over time you don't want your ends rolling up because that would really suck and make it look stupid. So I really make sure I focus on these corners and coming up at my stitches. And I'm going to put a small little stitch in the corner of that mouth. And down here at the corner of the mouth. And again at the corner of the mouth, I just stabbed myself. These are sharp little guys. I'm gonna come down here, but I'm gonna focus on that corner as well. Just because I have enough yarn to do so. So I'm just gonna come up here and go down here. So, not sure how I got him in there. I'm just going to cut off my extra. So, I am just going to, I'm not sure why I have all these pieces, but I'll just tie all these pieces into a knot. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I'll just tie them all into a knot. It doesn't really matter. Make sure it's where you want it before you cut it. It's hard to tell when there's nothing else there, but you don't have to snip these off right away, and get your eyeballs on first and then you can snip it off. But I'm pretty sure I have mine where I need it. So, I need my red. Red yarn. So, figure out where you need these or where you want these. I will will put a picture up of the heart emoji. Not quite centered over the mouth, but it's not horrible. I'm going to try not to move this. And again, leave some yarn at the back for tying a knot. I'm going to go right down into this arch. So I'm not trying to pull tight. I'm going to come back up in that arch, because I just really want the arch secured. And I'm going to make sure I come up on my corners, on my ends. Yeah, maybe smaller stitches around that. You just kind of, you're trying to hide your yarn in these stitches. Oops, I'm doing it again, doing it backwards again. I want to sew like I'm sewing something together. I don't want to sew like this. So I keep forgetting. So I'm going to put a small one here just to hold down the corner of that heart. You can do little small stitches if you want to hide them in your stitches in your heart, so you don't see it like that. That was stupid. Don't be like Tara. Somehow I kept pulling on it. So let's see if I can tie a knot still with this tiny little wee piece. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. So, snip that off. So, now we just gotta try to make this look like the other one. It looks even. Does it look even to you? So I'm going to come up. Leave some at the back. So I want to go down into that top stitch there because I don't want my do small stitches here because I don't want my heart to roll up. So I'm going to focus on this corner. Make sure you get into that arch, just like before. Alrighty. Just about done. There his face is. So, I still got my thing attached. Let me just do some with this center guy because that's what I do. I fret over stuff like this. Don't know why. And I'm just gonna try to get him in there. It's pretty tight. It's no wonder my needle breaks. Good enough. So we'll put these two bad boys together. So I want to do my seam to my seam. So see my seam and do my seam. So we're going to do that just like last time. And we're going to go a stitch. Here's my first stitch. Stitch to stitch. Just like that. So if you got the equal amount of stitches and you go stitch for stitch, you should have no bunching at all. If you don't have the right amount of stitches, or you didn't go stitch for stitch, maybe you've missed one or something, then you might have some bunching. But I mean, sometimes it's only one stitch that's bunched up, and sometimes you're just too many or something. So you know. So if you've watched my first one, you know that we're gonna do this until we're 3/4 of the way or more around. You know, enough for you to get your hand in there and get some stuffing in there. And then we're gonna stuff it and we're gonna close it. And Bob's your uncle. So you can pause it here or do whatever you want. I am going to speed this up, and I will see you when I'm ready to put the stuffing in. All right. So stuff this bad boy, or bad girl. So just like our laughy face, we don't want to overstuff this poor dude. But it's up to you. I mean, we're going to do the squishy face thing and move it around. But it's up to you how much you do, how many you do. That's up to you too. Let's stick in a little bit more. I think that is good for me. And then we just finish closing it. I don't want it to stretch our stitches to the point of no return. Oh, I got snagged on something. Oh, still snagged on it. A little more room. A little more. One more. And then you can just slip stitch right into that first one that you did. You can chain one, fasten off. So you can do the squishy face. Move your stuffing around into all the areas that it needs to go. Cute. My mouth is a little crooked, but that might just be me having to move my stuffing around. So we're just gonna hidey-ho this guy. Yeah, see, he's pretty pokey. He's pretty puffy still at the back. Play with him and move the stuffing around. In the meantime, let's just hide this guy right back in the stitches that we just did. So once you pull on that knot should just kind of go down and get hidden. Cut that off, and there you have it. But there is your heart emoji stuffy face. Thanks for joining me, guys. I'll see you in the next video.